Hello YouTube, it's your boy Wax and Tortoise here, and today I've got a nice and easy, super delicious cookie dough recipe for you guys to try out. Um, Super simple, super delicious. You get a good few portions out of it, and something you could probably do with your kids if you really wanted to. But to start off with the recipe, we're gonna have two types of sugar. Regular granulated sugar I used, or caster sugar also works, and I use light brown sugar, but you can also substitute this for dark brown sugar. To that, I've added some melted and slightly cooled butter, um, and then whisked it together till it's all homogeneous and combined. Not too much, but till it roughly gets there, so about a minute or so for me. To this mixture, then an egg, one whole egg is added, and for flavouring, I added cinnamon and nutmeg. If you don't want to use that, you can also use half a teaspoon of vanilla instead. I just find cinnamon and nutmeg really goes with the cookie dough flavour. And then finally, we're gonna mix in the dry ingredients. So that will be your flour, salt and baking soda, and then we're going to add in some chocolate chips, or for me I use whole chocolates and this button style chocolate. I use a mixture of half of them with dark chocolate and half was milk chocolate. That's what I like, but it's your choice. If you want to add white chocolate, all milk, do that. As are you doing all my other recipes, the ingredients will be in the description below. Um, so feel free to jot down the notes there. So you want to only add half. You want to add all the flour, but mix it till half of it's combined. So I added half, and then I added all my chocolate chips, and add the rest, and then keep mixing it together till there's no more. You don't see any more flour or white bits, and it's just all one like brown homogeneous dough. You can use your hands if you want to. I find with doughs using your hands is much easier than using a spatula, but I just use a spatula here in this case. Once the dough is all done and made, you want to top it with some cling film and then place it into the fridge for a minimum of like 1 to 2 hours, but it can be up to 72 hours. So you can leave the cookie dough in the fridge for 3 days um, before you bake it. Then, once the cookie dough is out of the fridge, you want to portion it off into large 150-gram portions. I find works really best. It makes a portion size that is very filling, after a heavy meal or whatever. But you can also do slightly bigger portions, 200 grams, or slightly smaller ones, 100 grams. So here, as you can see, I've just portioned it off into a 150-gram portion. The dough can be a bit hard, so use a spoon. Be careful when taking it out the bowl, and then squish the dough together, and make it into a ball. You want to preheat your oven to about 175 degrees Celsius, and then bake it for about 11 to 14 minutes. Maybe a bit further on the higher side, like 13 to 14 minutes, maybe better. It depends how gooey and you prefer the center to be. So I personally prefer the cookie dough center to be slightly gooey, so I do it about 13-14 minutes. Um, but if you want the middle to be very solid, you could do it for longer. Now, I bake this on a piece of baking paper, but you can also do this in a skillet. It actually looks nicer as well if you do it in a skillet, cast iron skillet that's oven proof. Put it in there, and yeah, that looks much better because it doesn't slide off the baking paper as well. So what I tend to do is, after baking it on the baking paper, transfer the whole baking paper over, and then just cut around it, cut all the excess off, so you just got a small circle of baking paper and the cookie dough on top. But presentation wise, if you wanted to improve on it, you could easily do this in a skillet. It'd look much better, and You don't really need to worry about it. If you leave it to cool down and harden, you could easily slide the cookie dough off. But as you can see there, it doesn't really come off from the baking paper when it's still warm. But you want to have it as soon as you take it out of the oven. You're gonna bang on your toppings and then get munching into this treat. So I added some ice cream, vanilla ice cream on top, and then I have a bottle of chocolate sauce, so I added that on top. You could also add like some nuts, add some like Smarties or chocolates, whatever little treats you want, different types of ice cream, gelato instead, put caramel on it instead. You know, the choices you want to put on top of the cookie dough are up to your own discretion, but whatever it is, I bet you will taste absolutely delicious. So my camera went out of focus there, but as you can see, is I just put on some sauce and ice cream. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. I got digging into the recipe. It's absolutely delicious. I find you can get about, from this recipe's amount, you can get about 3 to 4 150-gram portions, roughly. More or less on the free side, so you get about 3 portions worth. Uh, if you make the portion size smaller, you can probably get more cookie doughs out. If you make it bigger, you're gonna get less out. The edges are nice and slightly crispy and a bit gooey, and as you get into the center of the cookie dough, it's really nice and gooey, and it all like melts together. Super good. So I like the distinction, or the difference. As you can see though, because it's on the baking paper, it just slides around everywhere. Um, but if you did it in a skillet, it'd be, I think, presentation wise, it'd be much nicer. So that's it for the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and favorite. And yeah, I'll see you all next time.